I know I'm human. And if you were all these things, then you just attack me right now. So some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight if it has to. But it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill it. And then it's won.
You son of a bitch, you moved the cemetery, but you left the bodies, didn't you? You son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones! Why? Why?
For a girl like you to come into my life, I've been waiting for a girl like you, the love that will survive. I've been waiting for someone new to make me feel alive. Yeah, waiting for a girl like you to come into my life.
You bitch! You called me a bitch!
What's in the basket?
Open season!
How do we know she is alive?
Say, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to. Please stop it. Stop it now. Turn it off. Turn it off. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop
蜈蚣，俗稱白足，屬節足動物多足類，體長略扁，軀幹由夜耳環節組成，每節有部腳一對，頭部有單眼掃角，足角一對，頭部第一對部腳變為腮腳，狀如鈎，鈎端有小孔，內通毒腺，敖人時立注毒液於人體，不及時醫治，迅速死亡。常棲於陰濕之地、朽木石隙之間，捕食蟲類。
All right, guys, I'm here for a very special video with Matt and Jon from Sick on Cinema, the dark side of cinema. How's that little catchphrase go in the beginning?
The dark side of film.
It's film. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
not cinema. You don't want to double cinema in there.
Why would you call it cinema, even though the name of the podcast is cinema? That don't make sense.
Fuck that. We jinx, double jinx. Anyways, we're here to talk about two ridiculous movies from 1982. We're going to kind of keep them separated, but we're going to kind of tackle them in their own little segments on here, I guess. So we got some weird ones, and I called in the Sick on Cinema guys. I wonder if you guys are noticing some bad audio issues. Well, I had some mic trouble, so we're using my webcam mic. It's not great, but eventually it's going to have to do. I'll fix it eventually. My computer is older than me. So there you go. But how's it going, guys?
It's going good. I've recovered from the copious amounts of snake slaughter that I was forced to watch for this.
No snakes were harmed in that movie, believe it or not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not an entire genocide upon the snake population.
All right. I don't want to blow my whole load on Calamity of Snakes, but the first one we're going to talk about is Centipede Horror from 1982. This is a Hong Kong flick. I can't imagine this is filmed in Hong Kong. It sure as fuck doesn't look like it. It definitely looks like one of those ones that's filmed in Taiwan. And the cast looks like it's a Taiwanese cast because, like in the Hong Kong movies, you're like, oh, there's that guy, there's that guy, there's that guy. When it's filmed in Taiwan, you're like, I don't know that guy. I don't know that. So, okay, Centipede Horror. I guess I'll start with the synopsis of this film. In the very beginning, they explain what a centipede is, as in our Western audiences don't know. It's like that scene in with Robert Shaw in Jaws where he's like explains them and tries to make them like horrifying. There was a thing where they did that in movies. I was like, are we watching fucking the 5 Deadly Venoms for a second? Like, explain what the centipede is.
I did love that too because it's like it gives you a full anatomy breakdown as if you're watching like the Animal Planet or something.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I got it. And they're like trying to make them all sinister. It's like it just looks like a big ass ugly centipede to me. So essentially, without going into complete detail of the plot, detail and loose parentheses, some family gets cursed by some weird guy that they screwed over his entire village years ago, and he puts a centipede curse on them. Why is it centipedes? Who knows? You know why? Because they're gross, and they can kill a bunch of them or use them, and nobody's going to get in trouble for stomping on a bunch of centipedes. But that doesn't really seem to stop Hong Kong at this time anyways.
Hell no.
So, first thoughts on Centipede Horror.
It's sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like I'm in the minority here, and like, I feel like the first time I watched it, I agreed 1000% with both of you guys, where the first hour is a slog, but the last 30 minutes is really good. This time, I don't know. I guess I just really kind of liked the main guy, and I felt bad for him the whole movie, even though they reveal like the whole plot to him twice, and he still does not understand what's going on.
So
but I don't know. Yeah. Literally twice in this movie, they're like, it's the centipede curse, and they hit the same like Metal Gear Solid beat drop they do, and he's like, oh, and they tell him again, and it's the same reaction. I was like, oh my god, my guy's really dumb. But I don't know, I really like this movie quite a bit.
So this comes from, I would describe as the lawless time of Hong Kong cinema, where it was like anything fucking goes when it comes to like what you can, like, well, not necessarily what you can show on screen, but what they did for movies, like, movies like, Human Lanterns, Red Spells Red, of course, Calamity of Snakes, which we'll get to, and, The Beasts, where it was just copious amounts of fucking animal cruelty. And
actors were not safe.
No. The performances in this are fucking harrowing. Like, putting centipedes in your fucking mouth and shit. It's just like, no way.
Now, from my understanding, some of these look like the large Vietnamese centipedes, the ones that there's looks like there might be some smaller ones. So I know in Japan there's one that is a special centipede, like I can't think of its name. They're not huge, but they're pretty decent size and they're pretty aggressive. And if you kill one, the scent goes away, it goes out and it sends for more centipedes. So people never stop them. They just get rid of them in a different way. These centipedes are large, and I don't know the difference between the Vietnamese centipede and the Hong Kong or Taiwanese centipede. I assume they're very similar, very geographical locations, not too far off. But what cracked me up is the story here. It's so similar to almost all of the Asian films around this time when you go to the curse movies. You know, in America or like Britain or something, that I guess the Western world, they're like, yeah, we got these mummy curses, or like an ancient like curse like Thinner or something like that, right? But when you go to like Asia, like the curses are so ridiculous. They're like, all right, this curse is, and what a really great movie that does that is Bewitched from 1981. And it's so cool about that movie because like the guy goes through every possible fucking curse. Like, oh, you got the bloating goat disease. It's like, what the fuck is that? Well, just wait and see. And like, so like when I was watching this, and this is not fair to Centipede Horror, is I was just like, Bewitched did it. Bewitched did it. And Bewitched is just the better, more interesting version of this movie.
Right.
The curse here is absolutely hilarious. I guess we're going to spoil the shit out of this. I mean, the whole plot is very similar. Like simple. Like they explain what a centipede is. The brother and sister are kind of the main characters. Do you think the sister and her friend go to the middle of the jungle? They are attacked by centipedes. The friend dies of a heart attack in a Killer Centipede movie. Okay, what is this? Child's Play 3? And that was played for comedic comedy, which was a great scene. But I mean, I don't want to see somebody die of a heart attack in a centipede movie.
You don't even see it. She just falls over, and they're just like, yeah, she's dead.
She was just like, I'm not coming back. They're like, yeah, write her off screen. She's dead. She died. She's like, heart attack. She was 20. So
we'll find another love interest. It don't matter.
So the guy basically, the street vendor saw the medallion, and that's going to come into play later. Essentially, the sister gets attacked by centipedes, and she has pus with swords and centipedes coming out. Nobody can figure out what's wrong. Of course, he finds a snake oil salesman who sends centipede ointment, which is kind of funny, there. And basically, he contacts him. This guy's like, I can't do it. I'll get my master. So we start going up these levels of different masters and stuff. And then we have this long, gratuitous scene, right, of like the ritual, like of this ritual of this naked woman. And it's just like, what is this in here for? It's just pure exploitation. Just watch this naked woman have this turns on her.
Yeah,
with the two ghost kids helping him exercise her, which was strange.
I don't even remember ghost kids. I don't. They were like out of my head. They disappeared like a ghost out of my brain.
They're just like
he had to do something like he had to go get like the corpses of like two dead children and grind them up or something like that and leave him out in the sun for so long or something. Now there is helpers.
It's like, so basically this is part of the curse. He's like, no, I do that for fun.
I'm the bone crusher.
A lot of the movie is like a mystery that has already been solved, like from the beginning. There's no mystery, but they treat it like a mystery. But I don't know. It's like you get like 3 exorcisms, 2 wizard fights. Like it's like giving you everything you want. Like
there's so many of those movies that have the wizard fights from North Korea. Like The Wailing is a big one. People in South Korea that people would remember. Every Hong Kong movie too, like Mr. Vampire or any of those movies. Or what was the one that came out? Dead and the Deadly.
Dead and the Deadly.
Encounters of the Spooky Kind.
That's my favorite.
those are great comedic ones, though. While these are a little bit more serious, and this movie really has a lot of DNA if you compare it to like the Indonesian films, like Queen of Black Magic and Mystics in Bali, and of course The Devil from Taiwan. And The Devil, all the movies I named are better. So that is the only. And Centipede Horror is fine. It's cool. I mean, it's the only one that centers directly around centipedes. I'm sure centipedes, eels, and snakes and worms pop up in The Devil. Because that movie just was not pulling any punches. That's the ultimate gross out one. Like you don't remember the plot when you walk away from The Devil. You're just like, I remember nastiness. Like
I watched it this year and I don't remember nothing about it.
You just remember being grossed out, right?
Yep.
Exactly. Like Yeah, so this movie I came to sit down and I was like, the centipede attacks are pretty gnarly, and there's not a bunch of them. And comparing it to like the other films, I just think it doesn't land as hard. I do think I'll let you guys speak if you got anything else to say about it.
I was just thinking, it's like, this company, I can't remember the name of them right now, but like they came out and they made 2 movies, and they're so similar in like execution and plot, but like I do feel like they like did better the second time around with Red Spells Red.
Yeah.
Which is the next year. It takes everything that Centipede Horror did and kind of like improved on it, while also being a little nastier, a little more mean spirited. But I don't know. I think this is just kind of a fun. Like I don't think it's too far off from your typical like sorcery Hong Kong film of this era. But yeah, I can understand why anybody would find that first hour to be a really hard get through.
Well, the way I described it was the first hour is like, but the last 30 minutes, like, all right, hang on, let him cook, hang on. But I don't know, like I had fun with it, of course, and like there is like one scene in particular that is pretty fucking heinous with the chicken. I think we all can agree on that.
Yeah,
it's pretty horrible.
I will say, what other movie has a sorcerer fighting another sorcerer with like looks like roasted chickens with heads on? It looks like something out of like fucking some kind of like Benny and June music video or something.
I bet there is another one. You're
probably right.
The one part that's really great, because like the whole movie is this character trying to figure out why his sister was killed by this old man, and he finds out this village burned down, and they keep talking about it's like, oh, village burned down, who knows how? And then he's like, huh. And he has the medallion as well, so he starts to do some investigation. They're like, go to your uncle, and your uncle's like, I don't know. And then he keeps leading to these different places. That uncle scene is pointless. Like he's like, I don't know. Like literally, it's like, what is this padding? So he keeps going to all these different people and learning pieces, meeting all these different kind of like, I guess, shamans or whatever you would call them, until he gets to the point where we have this flashback, which is absolutely hilarious. What happened? The grandfather was just like cheating, and like with the best part of this is the grandfather was a goddamn superhuman, because the wife comes home and he's screwing this woman, and she's like, how dare you? And he's just like, get away from me. He gives her the Rick James, like, get away from me, bitch. He like pushes her by the face, and she goes into the table and just dies immediately. And then the woman he was sleeping with, he runs over and she's like, what happened? And he's like, get away from me, pushes her. She hits the wall and dies. Like, and they're such weak, like people are just like, what are they made out of, plastic? And
I was like, I was trying to like analyze, like, did she hit like a nail in the wall or something? Nah, she just hit her head against the wall and it just fucking splatted everywhere.
Guy's a goddamn Hulk.
Also, what is it about this, like, not even this era, but like just Hong Kong cinema and the mentality of fuck yo kids? Because there's a child death in this that comes out of nowhere, and then there's stuff like Fatal Termination, fucking Run and Kill,
Underground Banker,
Underground Banker. Where it's just like,
kid in the hospital, and you're like, is this funny? I don't know if this is funny. I'm not. Is it funny?
I was like, that movie is so weird.
Very weird.
Oh my god.
I thought it was funny when like they're meeting up with the master and he's like, yeah, I heard your grandfather did something despicable. I'm like, that's a little bit of an understatement. He burned an entire village to the ground.
He cannibal holocausted an entire fucking village.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even going for an Oscar.
I hate to tell you, but your grandfather's a piece of shit.
Your grandfather basically committed, how you say it, genocide? He's like those guys in like Africa that like just kill hundreds of people. Driving around hitting with machetes.
And it's
like, what was it, General Butt Naked?
Yeah, from well, what the hell, Book of Mormon.
Oh, yeah.
But like there was no need to actually have to show the baby, but I love that they did. Like he just goes, it's like picks it up, like there it is.
Yeah, he's like, it's barbecue baby. And then we have the big showdown, which is one of these, like, you're just like, it's very typical, but instead of like actually facing off, or like in Indonesia there'd be guys floating like vampires floating and shit and crashing into each other and like flying explosion balls. They're literally just like the Wailing, but just goofier, where they're just like it's basically like Dragon Ball Z. Like
it is, yeah. And it's like, I've noticed a trend in these films too, where like your quote unquote hero of the film has no involvement with the final showdown at all.
No.
Like he's always just like somewhere else doing something.
Like a lot of them are the Wolfman story, where like the character is possessed, and he's like, what was the one where like the guy's turning into like a bat creature in Indonesia, and he goes out at night and kills people, and like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
or
Yeah.
the Queen of Black Magic, she's used as, or Mystics and Bali, she's used as like an implement of evil. You know what I mean? She's being used and like against their will. So it's like that's just a typical Wolfman kind of storyline. It get doing stuff against their will, but being controlled. This one, it's just like there's points when like he's fighting the one shaman, and then it's like okay, then that guy just like kind of like dies, and then there's one where he sends the shaman after the guy in the hotel room. This one is just kind of like it's a little disjointed, and I don't know, like, did they have the title first? Like this, I want to hear like the making of. I wanted to see like behind the scenes. We're like, well, we want to make a movie with centipedes, so Centipede Horror. We'll just get, or did they have like the script? Like, what are we gonna call this?
Yeah, it's like they literally revealed the twist, if you want to call it that, twice. Like he meets up with the grand master of them all, and he's like, "Yeah, your sister had the centipede curse." Then they meet back up with the dude, and he's like, "Yeah, your sister had the centipede curse." It's like, "Yeah, I know, you told me this."
Like, yeah, but let me tell you something. Centipede. I got it first time.
At one point in the movie too, they literally paused the movie to explain a curse to you. Like he meets up with the one character, and it's like, "This is the speech curse. At this moment, she answered the wrong name." I'm like, I could have figured that out, but
no, but also, that's god.
Oh, is it this one or is it Calamity where there's a song that's from a different movie that just starts playing?
Calamity for sure.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah. No, the funny thing about this one is when they do, what was I at? I had something in my head with like, so they do the explanation of the curses, but like I'm saying, Bewitched was the ultimate movie where they're like, I don't think these people know what curses are. So like, it's like almost like in the beginning, all the Shaw Brother movies, they'll pop up, and or like even the Sonny Chiba Street Fighter movies, they'll pop up and be like, ugh. And they'll be like, introduce the guy, like, master of Aikido. And he's like, this is Bewitched. They're like, the one curse. And they're like, huh, you're reading? You're like, okay. And then I explain exactly what it is and how it works and everything like that. This movie was like the lesser version of that. So, like, when I was watching this, I was like, this is like the devil ran into Bewitched and then cut half of it out. Like, because it's like the Centipede Horror. Everyone's like, this movie would have been hyped up for me for years. So I'm not like, usually, another viewing, I'll be okay with it. I don't hate it. It's fine. It's just when we're talking about this in comparison to the other Hong Kong movies this year, it doesn't live up to, Human Lanterns or Calamity of Snakes. It's equivalent to some of the ones previous.
Yeah.
I don't think it's, I'm going to just try some crummy Hong Kong. Did you guys watch Curse of Evil from this year?
I did not know.
No, not yet.
That one's fucking awesome. There's like little toad gremlins and shit that eat people. It's fucking nonsense.
I fucking love this era of like Hong Kong horror. It just hits different, man.
Oh, Hell Has No Boundaries a winner too.
Oh god, the no boundary shit. It's just like, how about let's not kill that animal, please?
There's I don't know if there's any animal violence in Hell Has No Boundary, or I can't remember Curse of Evil. There's got to be something, but it's almost like the rest of the world got the MO after like Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, like we shouldn't be doing this, and then like Indonesia, kind of even Indonesia's not nearly as bad, but Hong Kong is like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. What's like, you talked about The Beast in your 1980 series, and that opens with a fucking horrific scene of animal cruelty. And it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, and I know it's not like this year, but 83, we've talked about a little bit. Red spells red.
Dude.
I still need to watch that one.
Has some insane shit in it.
I'm looking forward to that one.
You can't condone.
Yeah.
It is a better movie, though. Like, I would love to know, like, why this company made Centipede Horror and Red spells red, and that was it.
Well, and it's like I know both were written by the same person. So I wonder if it was maybe like them and like a couple other people, just production company, to do these two movies, and that was just kind of all they had.
They had nothing else in them. It's kind of like a one wonder. It's like, so you got anything else besides like killing bugs and shit? That's all I know.
That's all I got.
It's like Dumb and Dumber. They just have like a worm farm. It's like, we're out of worms, so we're done.
Yeah. I do think this is a movie that, like, and it's hard to like defend a film when it's like, you got to watch it twice, then you'll really appreciate it.
Yeah.
But that just is this movie. It really is.
I almost don't want to do the better or worse than for 1982 movies, because like the big titles, I just don't think it's really gonna beat any of the big titles. You know what I mean?
No.
Right.
It's a very top heavy year.
So I'm thinking maybe I don't even think it will beat any of the Hong Kong movies. I think. Is there any Hong Kong horror movies or any Shaw Brothers movies that aren't just like really crappy that it's better than?
Oh,
Like, I don't think it's better than The Devil. That's not Shaw, but
I don't know. I watched The Devil, but like I said, I don't remember nothing about it.
wait 2 weeks. I don't know if you'll remember anything about Centipede Horror either.
It's true, but I've seen it twice now, so I think I got a better grasp.
I remember imagery from The Devil, but I couldn't tell you the plot. I'd have to make it up. I'd be like, you see, what happens is they wrong somebody, right?
Yep.
And that person curses them. All right? Like, it's like Alex Speck's like, we'll allow it.
we'll allow it.
That's why I wanted to do these together because, like, I don't have that much to say about Centipede Horror. I think it's a cool movie. I think Air 4444 is doing the Lord's work.
They really are.
The Devil Lord. The Bug Lord.
The Bug Lord.
Oogie Boogie, if you will. But
that edition of
Okay.
Centipede Horror. No, I was just saying, that edition of Centipede Horror is insane.
Oh, yeah.
I do like the little thing they have on there that explains what a Cat 3 movie is because people are so often to be like, it's like the SOV of that world where everybody's like, that's SOV. It's like, that's not SOV.
Yep.
It's like, it's literally, you still see film grade. Like, it's SOV though. It's like, no, it's not. It's not SOV.
Yeah.
It can't be.
Somebody argued one time, they're like, well, why did this website put it up? I was like, because it's ran by people like me and you, and they just are talking. They're just like, anybody can make any fucking way. I can go and make a fucking thing on Blogspot and just be like, these movies are SOV. Godfather 1, Godfather 2.
Yep.
You know,
on video.
It doesn't matter. But they basically explained that movie, technically the Cat 3 rating didn't even happen until the late 80s with stuff like Man Behind the Sun. And I think there was like a homosexual, like Hong Kong, like romantic movie that they were like, Cat 3.
Can't have this.
You can't have this and be turning the centipedes gay.
Yeah, it is interesting.
The frogs gay.
We need our centipedes.
First time I heard about Centipede Horror, it was sold to me. It's like, oh, it's a Cat 3 film.
Well, honestly, though, I think that they went back and retro rated some of these fucking things when they got re-releases and shit. So, like, Seeding of a Ghost, like, originally wasn't a Cat 3 because it wasn't a fucking rating. I don't know when it went back, but, like, Seeding of a Ghost and like Centipede Horror and the Devil and stuff like that, they probably maybe were retro rated and stuff like that. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't know the history. I wasn't there. It's kind of strange. You know what I mean? Like when people argue, it's like, what was the first PG-13? It's like, I don't know anymore. They're like, well, it was Gremlins, Indiana Jones. Well, no, it was Poltergeist. Well, no, it was actually this shitty 80s sex comedy that no one ever fucking saw. But this movie was the reason why it happened. This one was actually rated. This was the first one that set foot in a video store, though, that had the rating on it. It's like, I don't care.
You're right.
It happened for some reason.
Yeah. It's like, when did the X rating stop and when did it become NC-17, right? It's that same kind of thing. And it's like, who cares what the first one was?
And then everybody's like, name 5 NC-17 movies right now. Do it. They're like gatekeeping. Rape me? Bad Lieutenant? I don't know anymore off the top of my head.
Natural Born Killers.
I think that was R.
Fuck.
So, is there any other Hong Kong movies that you would recommend comparing this one?
Ooh, Human Lanterns is a big one.
That same year.
Yeah, it's a little different. Like the Curse, like I was trying to think more like Curse films, like Red Spell. I know I've brought it up a bunch of times, but Red Spell is fucking great.
It's so good.
Seeding of a Ghost.
That's
that one. I really love that movie. Matt's looking at my collection, trying to figure stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking around.
Like I said, The Devil is very similar. Bewitched is almost the same movie. I put Human Lanterns more with something like Corpse Mania. They're almost like jolly slasher type style movies. But I could see some. There's always magic, and if the magic is not actually genuinely doing something, it plays part into the mystery, right? So this movie is a mystery. Like, it literally just follows the character trying to figure out why his sister got the centipede curse, realizing he comes from a lineage of a goddamn genocidal maniac who burned down a village because he wanted to get laid. And he wanted to cover up his crime, and he barbecued a baby and tossed a couple women into the wall.
It's like, I like the fact of the movie, like he like enters this world of magic, but then I thought like, well, you could watch Magic Cop, and that's a much better version of that. Where it's like,
that's a fun movie, Or Seventh Curse. The Seventh Curse is like, you're thrown into that movie and they're just like they don't explain. It's just a magic world, or like
Yep.
cast a deadly
Yeah.
spell. You're like, this is the 50s noir, except everybody uses magic. You're like,
Yep.
interesting. So I mean, I like this movie. It's fun. It's cool. I mean, fun's kind of a weird way. It's like centipedes ripping people apart. I mean, and in terms of animal attacks movies, is there any other ones with centipedes only? I don't think there is.
I don't think so.
Ooh,
Not
I
that
think so. No,
Not with just centipedes. No.
No.
centipedes are a creepy fucking creature, though.
I
I
got-
get that. Yeah.
I got bit by a centipede one time. It fucking sucked.
Me too.
It hurt.
The red
I was-
ones, the gray ones aren't going to bite you.
Yeah, I stepped
The red-
on it and didn't. And I was like, "Is this thing gonna kill me? Am I poisoned now? Is this it?"
The
I don't
red
know what
ones will
happens.
fuck you up. They don't
Yeah.
care.
I don't know. I guess maybe because I have like phobia of like bugs and shit. I'm like these movies always get to me. Where I'm just like, oh my god. Especially in this one where they're like, centipedes are coming out people's mouths and shit. Like I was talking about earlier. I'm just like, oh god. The idea of doing that makes me fucking sick to my stomach. I just no
is
way.
It is like a spectacle too. Like this movie and Calamity is like
Mm.
the
No.
amount that they have in these scenes is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Squirm beats it for
Yeah.
worms. Like Squirm
true,
is
yeah.
like, I mean, Jeff Lieberman always joked that he basically killed one person by how many worms he killed. He killed so many fucking- and that sucks. I mean, but honestly, watching this stuff, it doesn't bother me as much as like Food of the Gods, where it's like, all right, shoot that rat with a pellet gun, and you're just
Yeah.
like, and there's like pushing rats in the water, like.
Jesus.
And, like their explanation on that movie, they're like, well, the rats are too big, they don't float anymore. So there's like tying rocks to their tails and dropping them.
Like
Be
cool.
one thing if we're talking about Cannibal Holocaust or like Apocalypse Now, where the movie like changed the history of film, but we're talking literally about a B movie,
Mm.
you know. And I mean,
Yeah.
not that it makes much of a difference, honestly, but it's just weird that some movies get slack and some movies don't.
It is.
Nobody's complaining about centipedes being killed or eaten or whatever, and I don't understand. Can you take the teeth out of a centipede to put in your mouth, or are they just going free balling it?
I think they're just
man.
free balling it.
Really? I mean, because those
I-
fuckers,
They
They
got
bite
big
you,
old
they'll
fucking
swell up.
pinches,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
your tongue will be out here. You look like a motherfucker from Basket Case 2 when you go up in that attic. You're like,
I was gonna-
tongue man or some shit.
I was gonna say the guy from fucking RoboCop.
Don't touch me, man. I actually have Emil. Emil is his name. I have a little action figure somebody sent me, and he sits on my fridge. I'm just like,
Hell yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
RoboCop's the best.
It is amazing.
I just imagine like you put all these centipedes in your mouth and shit, and it's like next stage you become BioCop.
I want to die. Why am I
Kill me.
See, I think that's the time like to call it. That's just why I did not want to do Centipede Horror alone, and that's why people are like, I came to watch Centipede Horror. It's like you guys were just talking about RoboCop.
Yeah, right.
It's
Like,
just- I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I was like, we got to keep these together.
we've talked about it.
You guys want to talk anything more about Centipede Horror?
I think it's fun. I think it's a
It's
really
worth
fun
watching,
movie from the
yeah.
era. Yeah, it's worth a watch.
I mean, after you watch 300 million weird movies, you just got to have it off your checklist.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
You got to see it. I mean, I know people are like, "Is it good?" I'm just like, I just spent like 2 days watching Brazilian sex war movies. I don't know what good is anymore. Man.
Yeah, right. It's all a blur. It entertained
Yeah,
me.
it's just like I don't know. I watched it. I had to see it because it's a piece of the puzzle, and it's a never-ending puzzle. And I'm missing
Dude.
pieces all over the fucking place.
It's like, why did you buy that? I didn't own it.
It's like your answers just are basically you answering the title. Like it's Centipede Horror. It's like, why'd you
Yeah.
buy it? Centipede Horror.
Why would you not?
This guy is just stupid. Centipede Horror, man. I've had so many people when you're like, what about this one? They're like, it's Centipede Horror. And you're like, is it good? Centipede Horror.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a horror, man. What do you
Then you're
want?
like, I guess I'll buy it.
It's like Rape.
Yeah, we should give it a-
It's like I told somebody one time, I was like, yeah, I watched a movie called Rape Man. They're like, wasn't he good? I'm like, guess. He said from the title, you can guess.
Actually, yeah. It's actually
Yeah,
funny.
it's
It's,
actually
a
pretty
comedy,
good,
which
yeah.
makes it even more offensive because it was just a guy like going around on the gritty streets of Japan being like, it's like the plot is literally a mild-mannered fucking teacher by night is a rape man that is hired like he's a private eye to rape people for punishment. Like this woman cheated on me. She cheated on her taxes. She fucking stole our 401s. It's like, oh, how are we gonna punish her? We gotta essentially rape her in a weird scene that's somebody's getting off on. And then we gotta have our old sidekick that is like the mentor who's lovable.
One of these days, we need to either be on your show or you come on our show to talk about the Rape Man movies with subtitles.
The first four have
don't
subtitles, and then we got
Yes.
like 5, 6, 7, and I want to say 7 or 8 of them. And the first, and then we have the Rape Man of Edo, which is like 2 movies where it's like period piece Rape Man. So we gotta so we gotta change the scenery, man. This ain't cutting it nowhere. Then we have the anime. I don't know how long that lasted. And then we can just read the manga too.
We just become scholars on Rape Man.
And then like 20 years we're doing like a Rape Man Blu-ray, taking it 100% serious and like doing video essays about Rape Man.
Oh my god, that'd be insane.
Who's
They're not
putting
as-
out Rape Man?
Error.
We want it. We need it. That looks like a massacre video title all over the place. Rape Man.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's probably owned by like fucking Yakuzas or some shit.
Probably.
probably.
Who else would do it? That's the thing, right? Like,
Like who else would put out rape nowadays? Like I don't know if it would even be considered. Like there's a funny thing about offensive movies. Like if I make an American movie called Rape Man, I'm done. I am donezo. Like that shitty Bill Cosby, that fake Bill Cosby rape movie. Like no one watched. Everyone's like, what the fuck is this? Like Bill Cobble. Remember that there was that like parody of Bill Cosby rapist movie that came out a couple years ago.
no,
Like, no one's
what
even
is
watching
this?
that. But if you like make it Japanese, people are like Hisiadu Sado. Now that is a man of class. It's like I just watched him fucking rape a 12-year-old boy and eat his ass for an hour. Is that class? Like you know what I mean? Like you know what I'm saying? Like I mean I love his movies, but they are just as sleazy as like the American counterparts. They're just made better sometimes, or people just like it's a different culture. You don't understand. It's like I got the gist of some of this. Like,
it's like you're saying like Sato is like, oh, he's very classy, which I can't 100%
He is,
disagree with.
He is an artist.
like-
It's just his art is horrific.
It's like, however, this woman did just get raped by a horse, so it's like,
It's like Euro trash. You're like, it's okay because it's European.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you're like Italy was always like Italy and Spain. You're like it's classy, it's trashy. France too, and you're just like like a mixture. But like America, it's disgusting. It's fucking disgusting. Like I spit on your grave is a goddamn. And then like that nobody's ever seen it. Like they're like Serbian film. It's the most. It's like you ever seen it? I don't need to see it. They're just doing Mary Whitehouse. You know, like what a Mary Whitehouse. I don't need to see a video nasty to know what it is. It's like okay. So Centipede Horror. All right, I think I'm good on Centipede Horror. We established that it's not better than any of the other Hong Kong animal attacks movies or counterparts from Shaw Brothers or Golden Harvest.
I don't know. I think it might be better than Jaws.
We have that scene in the opening of Jaws. I know there is one of those animal attacks movies that opens up where it's like it explains the animal and makes it like terrifying. Is it Orca? Does Orca do that?
Might be Orca.
Alligators fucking trailers like he's 30 meters small.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You're like, oh, shit. Like so like some people are like, we gotta get in on that. Like it's keep going. All right. I think we're good.
Oh God.
Oh, here we go.
Oh God.
G，你點啊？G，啊，冇事嘛？啊啊啊！
我斟杯水俾你。你點啊？
好驚啊！喂，
唔使驚，冇事嘅，唔使驚。
All right, now we're here to do the second one, the second feature on here. And we're talking about Calamity of Snakes from 1982 as well. And boy, oh boy, I would probably vote this as the most insane animals attacks movie ever made.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Do we want to tackle the plot here?
Go ahead.
It starts pretty typical curse movie, but it gets fucking bonkers. I can't believe this movie's made. It was a Hong Kong Taiwanese co-production. Yeah, so essentially what happens is we have a shady guy who wants to build these like master apartment buildings, these giant fancy apartment buildings. He's cutting corners. The architect is there with a bunch of workers, and they find a pit of snakes, a giant pit of assorted snakes. And instead of, calling the fire brigade, as they suggest, to clean out the snakes or letting the snakes just leave on their own, the owner literally jumps in some sort of heavy machinery and crushes all these snakes while his screaming wife tells him not to after she had a premonition, which is so much in there. I'd say 50% of horror movies are like, we get a premonition in this. I was like, we got Say no more.
You can
know,
always
yeah.
have premonition.
Yeah, you gotta have it. If it's not in there, is it even a horror movie? So essentially, he kills these snakes. They build a hotel or apartment, and snakes start fucking shit up. They start picking people off, and you think it's going to be a simple revenge story, but no, it turns into the craziest siege movie ever. And it's essentially Jaws.
It is Jaws. That's what I noticed immediately. I was like, "This is Jaws."
Yeah.
Every movie's Jaws, though.
That's the thing. Any animal attacks movie is probably some way based on Jaws.
You could take like five movies, and you could be like, "Is it Jaws? No. Is it Exorcist? No. Is it Alien? No. Is it Dawn of the Dead? No. What is it then? Is it Halloween? Yep.
You got it.
There's like five of them, and it's like, is it? You know what I mean? They all branch off and just change a little bit.
Yeah. It is like it's like Jaws, but with snake genocide.
God,
dude, I can't eat like the balls of fucking Spyro to put this out is insane. This movie is fucked. Oh yeah, I am too. But it is like, how does this movie exist?
It's 1982 and it's Hong Kong, and they got a little upset that people were like, why are we? That's like the people nowadays, like this woke culture over here, not letting us kill animals for entertainment. I was thinking, when I was a kid, we used to go out in the backyard and shoot dogs in the face, and we had fun. It was fun. It was clean fun. No, but honestly, it's like that guy in Chun-Te Tai. He's like, when I was a kid, my mom used to take all our valuable possessions and put them out in the front yard. Complete bullshit. Like, what are you talking about, you maniac? But yeah, so. Word of warning: this is the most animal cruel filled movie I've probably ever seen. Honestly,
it has the most animal death per capita of any film I've ever seen.
I know we're making. Oh god.
Oh, the only thing I was going to say is like the only thing I can compare the amount of animal death to would be like a shockumentary.
Oh yeah. It's like when you see the butcher scene where they're like, here's how chicken nuggets are made. You see like 5 million chicks just, and there's like, that guy in Redneck Zombies just sitting there watching fucking chicks get killed. They're just putting on the presser. He's like, but and honestly, like, I know we're making humorous jokes about this, but we obviously don't condone it. Snake killing. I'm speaking for myself. I don't know about these two guys here.
I love snakes. I
like snakes.
It really bothered me at times.
Yeah, the movie definitely is bothersome, but I've grown like used to it to where I like just shut down my brain. But you become so like used to it. By the end, you're just like killing a bunch of snakes. But like when you watch a movie like Bloody Sect from this year, which is a really cheesy like possession kind of style Spanish horror film, and then in the middle of the movie they're like, hey, this movie had the worst special effects I've ever seen. They're like, we're just going to kill a toad for real. It's bothersome because the movie does not care about anything of quality in terms of effects. They're like, we're going to kill this toad. It comes out of nowhere. You're like, why? Like this movie already was like, we're in. It's too late. We can't go back. And they just doubled down. So like the first part of the movie is really just like this giant fucking bucket stricter, which is half time a puppet, and it's just going and it starts picking off the workers. And there's this really funny scene where they're all eating this snake soup, and they're like, "This snake soup is delicious. There's so much food. I'm gonna get a prostitute." You're like,
yeah. Like they're like, "Oh, we can't always afford meat, but he can afford a hooker."
Bro, priorities.
It's true.
Oh my god! Like
that opening sequence with the fucking backhoe or whatever it is. I'm like, we didn't have to see every snake die. You could have cut a few out,
Like the coworkers run in there and start hitting them with picks and shovels and levels and shit, like come alongs, and you're just like, okay, all right. Like they're just like, I mean, I do like the idea that they just give it to you right away, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no like foreplay where there's like somebody like. Like a movie where there's like slight animal violence or nothing, and then all halfway through, like they just like kill a bunch of shit, and you're like, whoa. This movie, like within the first 5 minutes if you're watching the rest of this fucking thing or not.
Yeah, for sure. The tone too is fucking fascinating because like during all this, and it's like played very seriously, and then the one guy like hits his fucking foot with a rock, and it's like, oh, whoa, that hurt, and it's like,
dude.
This one feels less Taiwan. Although I do think Taiwan does have the kind of comedic elements too, but they're even goofier. Like, what's the one with like Shocking from '81 where like there's like an egg getting thrown, it lands in the guy's mouth, and he's like, ooh, like so it happens at times. But Hong Kong is just somehow they got the humor. It just mixed in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s to where it
Yeah.
works. Some of the early stuff, it just like it doesn't work as well, but you could tell this is a Hong Kong movie for sure with
for
the
sure, yeah.
comedic characters that you kind of just be ridiculous. And that's common in a movie where anytime you have like an apartment or a hotel, they're like, we got to get as many crappy weirdos in here as possible or nobody's going to remember. This movie shares a lot of DNA with the Indian film Hotel from 1981, where essentially they this is a pretty fun movie. It's too long, as all Indian movies are. It's like 2.5 hours long, and there's musical numbers. But there's a group of people that somehow screw over this priest and lie to him. And there's like lawyers. There's like 7 or 8 of them. They screw over this priest and lie to him. They say, we're going to do this land and build this building for like charity. And they don't. They build like a big fancy hotel. And like the priest is like, how could you do this to me? I let you guys do this. And they basically are cursed. And there's like weird hauntings and start picking off all the people in this hotel. Instead of this, it's snakes.
Yeah.
But like that's the second half. There's like 2 movies. The first half is like pick them off, right? Revenge tale, where you think it's going to be typical like Queen of Black Magic. Oh, just take them one by one. Or what's the movie from 1970? Devil Woman, where she's like it's a snake powers and she starts picking off the bad guys. Or what's the one? The rape revenge one from 81. There's a bunch of those. Is it Ghost with Hole? Isn't she like raped and comes back and starts killing all of them?
I've seen that one.
They all kind of burn into the same fucking movie after a while. But yeah, anybody else want to say anything before I just go on a 45-minute tangent about fucking Calamity of Snakes?
So, okay, this is a very random thing, but I'm sure you've seen some of like the Turkish films, right?
Not too many. You'd have to name them to remind me.
Oh, like Turkish Star Wars, for example.
I've never watched Turkish Star Wars.
Okay.
Why would you?
Fair enough.
That's what I thought.
The thing is, the lead in this looks so much like the lead in so many of those movies, but it's like, and I wrote in my notes, I was like, Cantonese Sun Yat Arkin can't hurt you. He's not real. And there he is. Like, how does he look exactly like this man?
My thing about this film is like, you are correct. It is a revenge film where the snakes are getting revenge on the shitty people. But even like the one person who is supposed to be like a good guy in the film, at first is like, let's just kill the fucking snakes. And then he's like, maybe we shouldn't do that. And then like, he's the most boring, bland lead man I have seen in one of these movies. Like, I couldn't tell you what happened to him. Like, I feel like he just disappeared. Did he die? Did he get away? I don't remember.
Him and the girl climb through the window at the very end. That's the last you see of them. It doesn't end on that. The movie ends with like a half non-ending where it's just like, all right, we're out of here. But the thing is, his whole deal is he's dating the boss's daughter who hired him, and the boss is just a piece of shit. He's like the type of guy that's like, we'll fill up with empty concrete. Then like 10 years later, the building will collapse and everybody will die, and he'll be like in the Bahamas counting his money. Like he's that type of guy. You know what I mean? I know there was a big stink about. I think it was in China where they were building the buildings really shitty and stuff, and they were collapsing. But so this guy's kind of that. You know, he's building something fancy on the outside, but in reality, it's just a hunk of shit. But this time, it's also filled with a bunch of fucking pissed off snakes. So like the first part, you think it's just picking these guys off, some of the workers and everything. You're like, oh, they'll build their way up. And there's this crazy ass scene where they call him the Robert Shaw of the movie. And like he has the one fucking scene. Like he's the snake man. He's like comes in, he's this old, like he's like dyed hair and he's like weird martial artist, and he literally takes on a boa constrictor in one of the fucking most bonkers scenes of the year.
He has a Shaw Brothers esque kung fu fight with a boa constrictor. It's fucking
made out of paper mache.
Yeah. At least I think so. That ending, I think he may just hung that snake.
Oh yeah, dude.
And I was like, can you hang a snake?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it hung or hang?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Good question. I just like it's so hard to even like talk about anything in this movie besides the insane amount of animal death. Like, oh my god, like it's so fucked.
It's such a weird perspective too, because we spend the most time with the villains, but I guess you couldn't necessarily spend the time with the snakes because the snakes. Well, they're
Can't talk.
They don't talk, so like it wouldn't be as interesting.
It'd just be like a Disney movie, live action movie now. They're like, get a revenge.
But it's like it's almost like take like a movie like Inglourious Bastards, where like you're spending the time with the Nazis instead of Inglourious Bastards, and these like the good guys are getting just slaughtered by the Nazis by the dozens, and they kill a couple of them. You know, they eventually get a couple of them.
It's kind of weird too. Like if you think about the I Spit Under the Grave original, you spend time with Jennifer Hills. In the remake, you spend time with the villains.
Yeah,
which makes the movie not fucking work, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the remake. I like the sequels to the remake. I just don't like the original remake.
The original,
yeah, it's like my least favorite of all of them. Besides, that fucking Donald Farmer, your boy.
Oh,
Savage Vengeance, your
Savage
boy.
Vengeance.
Which
That
one's
movie's funny,
worse? That one?
Don't
Or
say
Deja
that.
Vu?
No. We're not even supposed to talk about this. We made a pack on 22 shots. It's an unspeakable.
I'm sorry.
It's unspeakable. It's unmentionable.
That's one time you have to give it up to Donald Farmer.
No, Savage Vengeance is fun. It's fun. It's cheap. It's an unauthorized sequel. It's hilarious. The other one is just I don't want to talk about it. I spit on your grave. Deja Vu is dead. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
He's a piece of shit. He's a son of a bitch.
Doesn't go to work. Doesn't go to school. Just lays around the house all day. But the thing is, like, about this, so like at the first part, like when the guy is fighting all the snakes, he literally bites the snake in half for real. It goes slow motion. I was like,
insane.
Well, like, also, what's this movie's What's this movie's message? Is it to not kill snakes by killing thousands of them?
Yes. Have a Holocaust message. The media is
doesn't
corrupt.
work
The media is corrupt and evil. You have to hit them over. See, you have to shock the audience to get their attention. So you're shocking me to get my attention to show me how fucked up you are. It worked though. It works. It works. But this one, you're like, it doesn't. No, there's actually a whole special feature on this release, basically explaining how snakes are treated in other countries. It's not nearly as insane. It's also 1982. Like, I'm not sitting being like, oh my God. I mean, it's a product of its time.
Oh, yeah.
What can I say, right? I mean, I don't condone the shit. It was made fucking over 40 years ago. I mean, and also it's a different country. It's a different time. Culture shock is a real thing for a lot of people. And this is not your beginner's fucking movie where you pop in and just be like, oh shit. I mean, it's bothersome. But it's a certain part of filmmaking, kind of like really, really dangerous car stunts that you're not going to see anymore. The animals,
fucking Fatal Termination.
Oh yeah, like I haven't watched Fatal Termination. I'll get that when the standard's out.
Dude, okay. You got to let us know when you watch that, because there is a stunt in particular that is the most reckless fucking stunt ever performed. There's no way it's not. It's
more reckless
amazing.
than Deadbeat at Dawn.
Yes.
It's very similar. That's the crazy thing. Except for reduce the age.
So I'm thinking about this. Like, the use of real animals, even if there's no harm done to the animals, is so incredibly dangerous and expensive and just looked down upon. But if you look at something like The Pack from 77, oh my God, the dog attacks in that movie are fucking horrifying. And this is the same thing with the car chases and like the action films made back in the day. They just had a special quality about them because they had that dangerous edge to them. And this one is just the craziest movie ever made when it comes to these kind of killer animal movies. So as we move on, essentially they keep getting rid of the snakes, killing the snakes. They have a group of mongooses rip apart snakes in a scene that goes way too fucking long.
It goes so long.
Like mongooses,
it's insane,
ripping the heads off boa constrictors and cobras and shit. If you're just like,
like Ricky Tiki Tabby on steroids.
Yeah, it's like that scene in Cannibal Ferox where they tie that poor little rodent up and just let the boa constrictor strangle the fuck out of them, and you're like, if it really just naturally occurred, it's one thing, but there's like some guy with a camera like, you can't get away,
like.
I'm barely honestly, yes, this is art.
Like,
fuck you, Diodato.
This is going to sound so hypocritical of me, but that scene in particular in Ferox bothers me so much more than a lot of the stuff in Holocaust for some reason. Because it's just like, you've tied it up so it can't go anywhere.
See, the funny thing is, like, in a movie, it's like you tie up and torture someone. It's so much worse than just like letting somebody like surviving the game is like run, go, or The Naked Prey, where they give them a chance. You give them a fighting chance. I'm like, I don't know why that's less disturbing. Some like gross fucking instinct where it's like, well, man, it's supposed to be hunting. You're supposed to hunt. Like, I don't know. It's just some dumb shit that fucking somehow seems like it's more, I guess appropriate or
right.
Well. So like as we get to the end, like they have this big grand opening in the apartment. We've been introduced to all these characters, including old man who is basically has a sugar baby that he's taking care of, overweight woman who is basically the checklist that we have to have in every Hong Kong movie, nicknamed Fatty or Fats or something like that, which the actor who's in Run and Kill plays that character in 450 movies I've seen.
He does,
he's always the best part of the movie, and he's always like, "Hey, I'm Fatty," yeah, and it's like awesome. He's actually in The Beast as invalid kind of character who plays an overweight guy who drowns himself in sadness. But so like this character,
I shouldn't have laughed
like,
at that.
this time it's like a woman who is just. There's literally a scene where she's at the buffet and she's just stuffing her face, and they turn her into like a pig. And
they intercut it with like a pig at a trough.
Yeah, like that's the like people are like if you didn't get upset about the snake, somebody's gonna be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, what was the song they used in this?
They use the Dawn of the Dead music at one point.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
just like
who hasn't? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I'm using it right now. I'm blanking you guys out. It's just, every time you open your mouth, you're like. Just they don't use the library music. I think they actually use the goblins, which is crazy.
That is kind of wild.
I think it's when they're setting at traps, like and then the mongooses come out. I think there's a little bit of that, which is a bizarre needle drop. I know a lot of the Shaw Brothers movies use the same library music that Romero used for Dawn of the Dead and stuff like that. So you'll notice like, hey, I know that cue and stuff like that all over the place. I know that Cronenberg and Romero used a lot of library stock music early in their career, so you notice that music. It kind of makes those movies kind of be similar, almost like the same world. But yeah, the big climax of the movie is we have all the characters in one place, including the evil guy, his wife who's trying to convince him to stop being a piece of shit. We have the little Weasley motherfucker. You have the architect and his wife or soon to be wife, which is the daughter of the owner. We have the heavyset girl and her boyfriend. We have all sorts of weird characters, and what ensues is about 30 minutes of all out batshit crazy snake attacks of the most ridiculous proportions.
Well, it's like at one point there's a giant like boa constrictor just flying around the room.
That's the very end.
It like roars and shit, which is great.
Yeah.
That's some Seventh Curse shit right there. That's some Seventh Curse shit. If you're just like, because it's just like a flying fucking boa constrictor. They're shooting flamethrowers at it. It's like.
That's why I always say like Hong Kong movies just fucking hit different, man. They they just take the most like insane concept you could think of for a movie. Like, nah, people won't take that seriously, and they just do it. They do it at max. It's insane.
This movie has like several moments of like insane visuals, like the introduction to the master, the snake master guy. Like they like open this box and he's just covered in snakes, and he like has a snake in his mouth that he bites his tongue and shit. Like it's such a crazy opener. It's like that actor did that. Like he had to let that snake bite his tongue.
Depends how much they're paying me. Like I used to do some crazy shit when I thought it was going to be a decent or real movie. Now if they're like do that, I'm like. No.
How much?
How much exactly? Or like if you know it's going to be a decent movie. Like if I'm in a movie with like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something, they're like, all right, do a front flip with this ball. I'll give it a try. But if you're in a movie like that, like there's $10 and they're acting like they're making fucking like The Exorcist, I'm like, bro, you're lucky I even showed up.
It's like part of me does like love this movie because of how insane it is, but part of me is also like. I cannot sit here and say I love it for what it has in it, but also, as you said, it's that culture shock thing as well as the the time period. So there's a lot to go, to look into when it comes to the context.
It's always going to be a thing of like hypocrisy, right? It's like this movie's like, the stuff in this movie bothered me. I'm gonna go watch Cannibal Holocaust. Like
I think it's the amount too.
And
how nonchalant everything's done. It's just like, and how brutal some of the killings are too. I mean, there's a point when a character grabs a samurai sword and off the wall, and he's literally just chopping snakes. And it's not like there's people throwing snakes off screen.
Could you imagine the behind the scenes of that scene?
Dude, it's gotta be insane. So some of the green ones in there.
You're not doing it fast enough. Hurry.
Where do they get all these snakes at?
It's
I don't know.
crazy.
A snake farm, dude.
It had to be, right?
There's that scene towards the end where they keep cutting back to the hallway, and it just keeps filling up with more and more snakes.
Dude,
and by the end of it, there
it's
you can't see
insane.
you can't see the floor. It's just covered in snakes.
And whatever that gas they're using is, I don't know if it's actually killing them or just knocking them out, but they're all hazmated out. Like, because at the end they call in like the army and like special unit 731 to come take care of the fucking snakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a hilarious part where one of them's like, he just jumped off the roof. It has to be a homicide.
Dude, that lady,
Yeah.
that lady who's like, mind your business. I'm like, shut the fuck up, lady. I'm so tired of old people like that. I'm like go away, bitch.
Roll her into the snakes.
I'm like, yeah, why don't you take a look? Fuck her out there. Zelda Rubinstein looking motherfucker.
Get bit, motherfucker.
No, like seriously, who's like somebody just dropped out of the windows like, is it your family? Who cares? It's like, get back to work. It's like, really?
Dude. It's insane, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You cannot underestimate, like, after watching all the snakes attack people, like little snakes, and killing all the characters in the movie, it does have like a moment of funness when we have the fake boa constrictor, because it literally is just this giant like snake flying back and forth, like hitting people and knocking all these guys around. And not to mention that there's just tons of fire stunts. And at the very end of the movie, the snake is literally after one guy because it's killed everyone else. So like when this guy finally makes his way down the stairs, the snake is already set ablaze, and it's just like just jumps at him and wraps himself around him, and then just
it's insane.
Then credits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, I love the fact too that like there is like a leader snake. Like these
There's
big
two.
pythons. Yeah, these big pythons are like, they're the leader of the packs, you know.
Also, I read in a I'm sorry.
No, you go. I was gonna say something stupid.
I read in a review that someone said that the snakes are supposed to be ghosts.
What?
I mean,
yeah, they're supposed to be ghost
for
snakes.
revenge.
I'm like, I don't know if that's actually the case. I think that's just, you know, taking like stereotype of all these, of all these
Maybe
movies and being like,
are they the ghosts of the dead snakes?
I mean, maybe. I mean, you could take it that way, but there's a
do
whole
snakes-
lot of them.
Do they get in a giant fucking pile like that anyways? I know like the same kind of snake can. Like there's like heard of like rattlesnake pits. But I don't think there's like, hey, there's a fucking green snake and a king cobra and a fucking boa constrictor and fucking a garter snake. They're all in the same pile. Why? Who knows? Like, I don't understand why. Overall, it was weird anyways. And like, I love that the wife who's trying to convince this guy not to be a piece of shit the whole movie, she just dies too. And the dude just leaves her like a scumbag.
Yeah. His character I did like. I did not care for the assistant. The over the top. It's just like it was a little much. Like some of it was kind of funny, but then other times I was just like, all right, let's just get on with this. Get him out here. Eat him.
We didn't even. Yeah, we didn't even address the fact that there at one point there's a kid that's like someone's assistant, and the kid just looks like fucking Pigpen.
That is true. He's like filthy, dirty, and stuff.
Yeah, it's like what the fuck?
He's the protege of a snake wrangler.
That's true.
What do you want to be dressed to the nines?
I was so confused.
I'll show you right here. Watch out for the snake shit over at the corner.
I was so confused by like going back to like the Grand Master Snake Man. I was so confused because it's like, you know, we're introduced from he's surrounded by snakes. He's got the snake on his tongue. We go to his place and there's just snakes everywhere. So I was like, oh, he's good at catching snakes because he's one with the snakes. And then he immediately just starts like ripping them in half and eating them. I'm like, never mind, I guess not.
He should have played like a flute. Like, why didn't they do that? Like, have like this like guy come in and play the flute, and all the snakes start following him out like the Pied Piper.
But what was the whole like? Was it St. Patrick or whatever? It was like he gathered up all the snakes or whatever.
I don't remember.
I don't know either. Actually,
I wasn't there. Shit. I think you're right though, honestly. What was I getting at? I completely forgot my thought. It must have not been important at all. Probably not. Probably not very important. Oh, I was gonna say they should have had a crossover universe where you see like the guy from the Beast who had all the snakes with the missing teeth and shit. He should have been and just like fucking running around with snakes.
Is that
We
guy
need,
in anything else?
Yeah, he's in Mob Flex
Okay.
Patrol, isn't he? Yeah, he's in that one.
Okay.
And then also as the big guy from the Beast. It has like 3 of the guys from the Beast. It has like 3 of the gang
Yeah.
members. That's a cool movie from 1981, I think it is. It's not a horror movie, but it's just a really nasty crime movie. It might be a Shaw. Yeah, I think it is. It's cool though.
Yeah.
Mob
I
Flex,
gotta watch that.
Mob Flex Patrol, I think it is.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out.
It's got the
Because,
real
like-
small Weasley guy from Encounters of the Spooky Kind too. No,
Oh,
Encounters
yeah,
of the
yeah.
First Kind. And Dangerous Encounters of the First Kind. I think he's in it as well.
Okay. Yeah, I still need to watch that too. And what was it? We're Gonna Eat You.
We're Gonna Eat You's fun. That's a Troy Hart movie. Same as Spooky. For Dangerous Encounters of the First Kind. Same director, same year. And you look at those movies, you're like, these are so fucking polar opposite. One's like a goofy, like, Peter Jackson style martial arts fucking cannibal movie, and one's like, yeah, a youth run rampant in the fucking most depressing ass fucking psychological thing I've seen in a long time.
God. The reason I was asking about that one actor because he just looks so
He's great.
like he's got such a presence.
Oh, I love him. All the bad guys in the Beast are great. He's the
Oh,
best
yeah.
one. Him and he's by far the most memorable. He's got like that. He's like the Hong Kong fucking Deliverance characters. Like he
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
he's like, we want Billy Drago. We got Billy Drago at home. Hong Kong Billy Drago from Hunter's Blood.
Oh my God. Hunter's Blood's wild.
Oh, I love that movie.
As a Southern,
only
I was
rough.
offended by Hunter's Blood.
Well, Billy Bob
Cover.
is in that movie. He's in the background of the bar.
Is he the bar scene?
Oh.
Okay. I
background
couldn't
is
find
like-
him.
I saw a still of him. I never could spot him either until I saw that still, and I still can't fucking spot him.
But it probably help if the print we all have is not just like ripped from a VHS. So
I have a laser disc, but
Oh.
laser discs are not very good. I have a DVD which probably ripped from that laser disc as well, but laser discs don't last forever. That like people are like VHS is rot. It's like, bro, you ever see a laser disc? Those motherfuckers literally rot.
Oh yeah. That's why like a lot of people were taking like a lot of their like out of not available stuff from Laserdisc and like
Yep.
trying to hurry and get them
Oh, for sure.
digitized.
Yeah, I have a handful. Most of them have been re-released on Blu-ray, but not all of them. Like Beat the Hollow Heads and fucking Hunter's Blood, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have Diary of a Serial Killer, the Hong Kong flick, some weird shit.
Yeah, I need to watch that one too. I have
Never seen
access to it, but
I have it.
Really?
I never fucking seen it. Apparently, I've had it for 15 years. Where I'm like, oh,
no, I feel that especially if it's like on Laserdisc, get hooked all that shit up and
I already have it hooked up. It's just Laserdisc. I mean, it's like, yeah, how it is. When you already have a DVD rip that's probably better quality, it's hard to pop it.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, anybody else want to say anything about Calamity of Snakes?
It's fucking crazy. It's insane. It is fun. There is an animal cruelty free cut. I didn't watch it, but I did see that they cut 10 minutes out, which I'm like,
Oh,
I don't know if that's enough.
I don't think so. Got 5 minutes? Yeah, I just
Yeah.
watched the animal cruelty free version of Calamity of Snakes.
Because I'm like, there's like, you'd have to cut like whole sections of the movie out
Yeah.
to get rid
You're
of
like,
them.
what are these snakes doing in this hole? And then it cuts to the end where it's just like Finn. You're like,
Just a close up of like the fucking guys in the silver suits. Just like, dun. It's like,
it's all pan and scan where it's just like zooms in, it's like staring at a corner of a fucking wall for 30 minutes. You just hear everybody like, oh God, they're eating me. It's like the scene from Dirty Work.
yeah.
Just killing snakes. It's like, smells like snakes in here. What was that? You wearing a wire?
What's like that scene
It
from
smells like
was
snakes in here.
the fucking vineyard? It's like, oh, it tastes like spiders.
Vineyard?
Yeah, it's like it tastes like spiders.
I rarely remember that movie. I just remember
That's the only
Jake
thing I
Paul,
remember about
like, oh, he's just fucking all like zombified on the cover. He's like, he looks so gross. He's just like a little zombie dude. I've seen that movie twice, and I still just remember there's like a group of zombies walking at the end or some shit.
The only thing I remember about it is what Matt said is that someone takes a sip of the punch and is like, this tastes like spiders.
Oh, he's a
And I'm like,
spider.
Yeah, I'm like, how the fuck you know what spiders taste like?
I had a friend that
I
was
was-
eating one of those nasty ass big, like,
Mhm.
fucking big
Ugh.
fat butt spiders
Mhm.
once when he was drunk.
Ugh.
Heartburn.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends are crazy.
But
Yeah,
they had-
overall. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say the one last thing I want to say about it really is like the editing in the fight scene. I actually think is really fucking good. Like it's really manic and like creates like a real sense of like urgency that I really liked. And that's the best thing in the movie, honestly, is when he's fighting the snakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. Again, I do like the movie quite a bit. I think it's insane. And again, it's definitely not going to be a movie that a lot of people are going to be able to stomach because it's rough on that aspect. But except for that, like if you can get past that aspect of it and you're like as seasoned and heartless as we are, you can probably watch it and
Yeah. You'll enjoy
have a
it.
good time.
I think you will enjoy it.
It's great. I was gonna say it's a great date movie. Calamity of Snakes and fucking.
Oh Jesus. Jesus Christ, that's a grim thought.
I do think the action's edited really well at the end. You made a good point. Almost like guerrilla style chaotic stuff, where it's just like so much shit's happening all at once. You're just like, holy shit. And I love when movies do that. Like they'll just save all the characters, most of the characters till the very end, and then it just hits and just chaos ensues. Like look at a big like murder scene, like a massacre scene, like Hellraiser 3 or Wishmaster or Waxwork. There's always like just like, hey, you know what did I say? The two of those are directed by the same guy, Anthony Hickox. So yeah. So like, I love movies that just build up and have these giant crazy attack sequences at the end. Like, so how would you guys put this in comparison to other animal attacks movies?
It's the craziest. There's no doubt about that. Like, it is by far the craziest one I've ever seen.
Top 10 for you guys?
I don't know. Maybe. I really like. Are we counting? I'm still we're counting bugs, right? Like ticks and mosquito.
Yeah.
So I probably like those a lot better than this one. Alligator.
Alligator's better.
Yeah.
Jaws is better.
Jaws is better.
Yeah.
Day of the Animals is better for me.
Grizzly, I would say is better.
Close for me.
Yeah.
I like both of them a lot, but
I would say that this one is most certainly the most insane animals attacks film you'll probably ever watch, except for maybe Roar.
That's not an animal attacks movie, really, yo. It's just
it becomes one.
Say that to the fucking cast and crew.
I was gonna say it's a real life animal attacks movie.
Dude, people are just sitting there and like they'll be like trying to say their lines, like, yeah, so and the line was yawn, and they're like, yeah, the movie's nonsense.
It's insane.
But when it comes to the best one, like, that's really tough. I don't know. Like, I do love Grizzly and Day of the Animals. But of course, like, probably the best one probably is Jaws. I mean, I feel like it's hard to beat Jaws in a lot of ways, of course, but
yeah, I probably like Alligator a little better than Jaws, though.
Yeah, I don't think Alligator's better than Jaws. I just like it more.
Yeah.
You know, it's just more my thing. You know.
What about like Monkey Shines? Does that count?
It's been a long time since I watched Monkey Shines, but you know, it's not a bad movie. It's better than its reputation. You know what I mean? Like, I try, like if we talk about killer monkey movies, you got or primates, you got what, Shakma, Link, Shadows of Kilimanjaro, the one Sands of whatever, the one with fucking Stuart Whitman where they're stranded and it just fucking goes bananas and all those bad movies are surrounded them. Congo, yeah, gotta love Congo. Still eating my sesame cake. No, there's so many animal attacks movies. It's very broad. In terms of other Hong Kong movies this year, I think it sits close to the top. But Shaw Brothers weren't playing around this year. Hell Has No Boundaries and Curse of Evil and Human Lanterns are all really good films.
Yeah, Human Lanterns. I would like if I was comparing it to those, I'd probably do like Human Lanterns a little bit better than Calamity.
I don't know. I don't know where I put this. Like, it's so weird because this one feels, honestly, it feels Hong Kong, but it feels more Taiwan to me.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely that Taiwan flavor from the time where it's just almost a little, like, I feel like it's got to be shot in Taiwan. I don't know, because you're not seeing like the big cities, the big like skyscrapers with the fucking bar, the fucking cage doors and shit. When I think Hong Kong, I think apartments, and that's like those big towering apartments. So that's mostly their 90s output and shit. And all those were like serial killers or courtroom drama, fucking rape fest or something like that. And this is animals attacks movies, which is not common, really. I mean,
it really ain't.
Indonesia has a bunch of them. I mean, like, you're looking at something like Crocodiles of Taiwan, the Thailand one, and like they all share so much DNA, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing about this movie too, is like I know it has flying snakes and stuff like that, but it really like they don't talk about magic that much at all, other than
No,
just
just a curse.
premonitions. Yeah, which is different than a lot of the Hong Kong outing of this time. It's as close to just a straightforward animals attacks movies I think this time period Hong Kong could have made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's obviously some sort of curse or magic, but no one comes in and is like, you have a guy who can fight snakes, but he doesn't come in and be like, I'm going to put a spell here. So it's almost like a weird difference between the way to handle this. It's definitely got to be inspired by the American counterparts for sure.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
More so than a lot of the other titles.
Yeah, I agree.
I would recommend Calamity of Snakes. Will it make my top 25? Maybe.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
It is. Yeah, it is it's a fucking insane movie, top to bottom. Like, there's no way it's not one of the craziest movies that you'll probably ever watch.
And it lives up. I mean, like I said, talking about like so many movies, like I don't want to hype up everything, but you want to get to the extreme movies or the crazy movies or the weird movies. You see so many movies that don't live up to the batshit craziness, and I think Calamity of Snakes does. Like
it does.
Like, there's a couple that you watch, like Seventh Curse. You're like, yep, that was as crazy or crazier than expected. That director in general is just out of his fucking mind.
He's amazing.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. But like this one does live it up. And the thing about the Centipede Horror and Calamity of Snakes is the directors didn't do very many more movies, and they weren't certainly like horror oriented. One did like Vampire Kids, which looks like kind of like a Mr. Vampire style, goofy little like lighthearted comedy or something, which does not fit with the other movie they made. And the rest are just like kind of, maybe kung fu films, or they're not, just don't match. It's very strange. I don't know if these were guns for hire. Everyone wants you to direct this Animals Attack movie, and you're sure, why not?
Yeah,
the check cleared kind of guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about them, and then the DVDs and Blu-rays don't have too much information on them. This Blu-ray does have kind of a whole thing about talking about like the snakes and everything, and how the society in Hong Kong is different, and the special features and stuff. They really nail that in your head. Obviously, the people aren't super excited about watching a bunch of snakes get killed, but it is what it is. And if you're watching anything from Hong Kong or anything from on Earth, you're probably already prepared yourself, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, there's fun to be had.
Yeah.
So, did you guys have anything to plug?
Just the same old shit.
Yeah, the podcast, of course, you can listen to it just about anywhere. Podcasts are available. I don't think we're on Stitcher though.
I don't think Stitcher exists anymore.
I was going to say, what is it?
Well, fair enough. There's, of course, the short shits, the DVD, the short films of Jon.
Yeah,
I have a shitty little YouTube channel where I do videos occasionally. It's called Fright Crave. If you want to watch that, and besides that, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah. We're gonna be at Sima Wasteland. I will have copies of short shits there. So if you want to get one in person, I'll have them.
I'll be there too.
Yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
I always am. I'll be broke though. I've been buying like more movies before I go there, so I like, because you know what I mean. Like, this one's on sale. You just go there, and shit's not on sale.
Yeah,
but it's so hard to pass up when you're at the diabolic table and you're like,
yeah,
yeah, just like let me just get in.
I'm trying
Severn
to
has
now.
sales. Severn has sales. They'll cut you deals like whatever you get. You know what I mean? Like you buy more.
Give it to me for free.
I like this. Can I have this? No. Can I have this?
I tripped and fell into your table. Is it mine now?
You guys better watch out for you guys been to cons, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The soup smell. It's just a bunch of big boys walking around. Like I said, everybody at a con is 100 pounds or 500 pounds. There ain't no in the middle.
You're adding 2 more big boys to it.
That's like we sold out a 3X and extra small. We got a lot of these.
You gotta know your audience.
We're trying to lose weight before then, though, so we're not like the biggest boys in the room.
I doubt you guys will be the biggest boys in the room.
I did tell Matt, I was like, people are going to want to probably take pictures with us and stuff, like our friends, and I don't want to look like I do right now in those pictures.
Just make yourself look worse in all the pictures on purpose. Like, just like make your face bright red, so it's just like as hard as you can, and then you take it. It's like, So like trying to look like you're dying in every picture. And then when they see you later, you're like, man, you look really bad. Man. You look good now. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like when that
Yeah.
everybody has like a weight loss challenge. So like the week before, you're just like, I'm gonna gain like 50 pounds. So then I'll just drop like eat as much as you can, like drinking a gallon of water before you get on the scale.
I'm going exclusively fried chicken diet before Cinema Wasteland.
Exclusive fried chicken.
I don't make it. I just like, where's John? He's in the hospital.
You're just like driving, eating, like, fucking die in a car crash because KFC is so greasy you can't grab the steering wheel. It's like just keep circling. I was like, oh shit. I think we've talked enough about nonsense.
I think we've done it.
I appreciate
really
you guys
fun,
doing
though.
this. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm going to sound like I'm goddamn underwater. So I got recorded on a potato this fucking time.
Just put a filter on it so it looks like you are underwater and people won't think nothing of it. It's like, oh, that makes sense.
I put like a SpongeBob filter. I'm just like,
Just bubbles.
I'm like Patrick, like, I like movies. I'm totally fucking Squidward energy over here.
Yeah, I feel that.
We're out of here, guys.
Adios.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.